diving. You should do slide only. When you do tap to slide or tap to dive, there is a small delay. Now, yes, you can minimize that delay by changing it to short in the slide dive activation delay. But you need to do slide only if you're struggling, because it will instantly activate the slide, meaning that you're not having that delay, which feels super clunky, super floaty, is actually horrendous to use. So stick with an only option or the hybrid. Now, hybrid allows you to kind of tap that slide, or you press in, and I'll show you right here. You press in on this one. You're pressing in on your run stick, and then you're pressing the circle button. So for me, again, that's the bottom thing right here. But I'll show you running and then pressing circle. And if you can memorize that, and it's way easier with a Pro Controller, then you'll be able to dominate against people. What I like to do is I'll kind of dive off of buildings and stuff like that, and catch people way off guard whenever they're trying to hide in a corner, and they're like, "Whoa, that guy came out of nowhere!" And I'm on the ground instead of standing in front of them. It's massively helpful. Next up, we have our automatic airborne mantle. Set that to off. Sprint restore, make sure that's on. Slide maintain sprint, also make sure that's on. Parachute automatic behavior, turn it off. Once we've made it past baby steps, turn it off. Accept that you're going to splat the ground until you figure it out, though. Okay? You've got to have it off so that you can get as close to the ground as physically possible.
I'm not doing that. Fuck that. No. I'm keeping that on. I don't trust myself not to go splat every time I pull my chute.
Auto move forward, turn that off. Auto door peek. If you go to look at a door and it automatically opens, your enemy will hear the door. You want to always manually open your doors. So do not have that thing that is going to help with your Omni movement. This is the only other thing that you need for perfect Omni movement. Make sure, a lot of people get this wrong, it is not on single tap sprint or double tap. Single tap sprint will put you to a run. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. But you want it to single tap run, which from moving forward, if you have to press that button, say you're sliding up a staircase and you're turning the staircase, you're going to have to tap that button again. If you hit a slide, you wrap around the staircase. I don't know if I can explain this, but like if I slide and then I turn, I will crap, right? That is the problem that I'm still be looking that direction. That's why it's so freaking cool. Lean out activation, completely up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And then we have our combat. Now, most of this should stay pretty much the same, but I like to go into a couple of these and change it. Off-rip, dedicated melee weapon. This should be set to hold melee. Do not set it to weapon cycle. If you're on controller, you cannot memorize the exact control or the exact, I guess, sequence of your weapons. So you don't know what weapon slot 1 is and weapon slot 2, which means that sometimes you'll be on your SMG. And when you go to try and switch to your melee to get out of a gunfight or move quickly, you're going to switch back to a weapon that you didn't mean to switch to. So I always like to have a dedicated bind, which is hold melee. Always like to have a dedicated bind, which is hold melee. Next, I do prioritize body shield. Armor plate behavior, make sure that's set to apply all, or it's going to pop in one, and then you're done. And then pop in another, and then you're done. So don't do that. C4 activation, so that you can explode them quickly. Make sure it's set to 1 by 1. Equipment behavior, set it to hold. Manual fire, set it to press. Combat advance, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. We've got weapon mount exit. Do not set that to instant, because if you do, if you have any stick drift, you will go in and out of the weapon mount. Set it to short delay. Oh, where are we going? Interact reload behavior. This one is super, super important. It makes a massive difference. So, looking at prioritize interact or prioritize reload, you may be thinking, all right, well, if he's doing prioritize interact, then that means he's picking up a lot of stuff. Yet, tap to interact in every scenario, because you don't want to traffic settings, which are actually super, super great. So, I use the PG. You will not have everything, but what you better for you, see which one is win games. That is that. Sorry, my screen goes black here. What I'm going to do, shading on, is so minimal because it takes corner. Green space shadows, don't need it. Set it to off. Occlusion, off. Fine. Oh, you can't even see it. Look at in darkness. Moving into that, go cut it on. Go get that Dolby and get that 7.1. And sometimes the audio call is a little bit tinny, and I cannot handle it. Let me kind of explain this to you because it's a little complicated. First of all, look at independent. What it? Oh, you can't even see it because of the. Set this to affected. Interesting. So I will always set my field of view to 120. You will often see people later whenever you get flashbang. So I always keep it set to off. Parachute camera perspective, first person. And now we get to have a little bit.
I gotta make sure. Okay, it's off. Shit.
Why do you mention that? Nothing. Nada. Depth of field. This is stupid. This is dumb. Another one. Keeping it very low. Screen. And follow exactly. Because it's coming from brightness down to regular. If you get flashbang, then it goes black. That means zero visibility. None. You would always rather get brightness than darkness because you will see movement in brightness, but you will not see movement in darkness. So if you set that to inverted flashbang on, you will often see people later whenever you get flashbang. So I always keep it set to off. Parachute camera perspective, first person. And now we get to have a little bit of fun. Moving into audio, I figured out so much stuff today that's going to make such a big difference for y'all, and I'm so freaking excited about it. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through step by step how I recommend to set things up. Going into audio, I do have my audio slightly tuned outside of Call of Duty. Let me explain to you why I do that. I use studio grade headphones. I also have very sensitive ears. I'm 90% sure I have tinnitus. And sometimes the audio in Call of Duty is a little bit tinny, and I cannot handle that. So what I've done is I have an audio tune set up to change that. However, you can tune it in the game. Mine is a little bit more fine-tuned to my headphones. But if you don't want to hear at the end of the game, music popping in your head when you need to hear literally every single detail to get a win. But I don't understand it. Next up, make sure you obviously have your stuff set up to the correct output. If you have the option, which I know a lot of PlayStation users, pretty much every PlayStation 5 and every Xbox Series X user, has the option to use something like Dolby, right? Dolby Atmos is usually on the system, so you can actually get 7.1 surround sound, and your audio is going to sound way better. So if you have the option to do that, go cut it on. Go get that Dolby and get that 7.1 surround for your game. That's going to let you hear a little bit more clear around you. Keep advanced headphone mode off. Home theater or sucker punch. These are basically the same thing. I want to be very clear. Basically, your audio, meaning you will miss things in the game. You can tune it in the game. Mine is a little bit more fine-tuned to my headphones. But if you have something like Astros or Turtle Beaches or something like a regular gamer headphone, I've set up such a good tune for y'all, and you're going to love it. Super easy. You can do it all in the game. So, let's hop in. First off, let's go to the volumes. We have gameplay music volume set to 0. Dialogue volume set to 40. That's going to let you know if somebody says, flashbang out, or an enemy hears you coming by, and they go, enemy nearby. You're going to hear them say that, which gives away their position, which is why it's so fun to have that set to 40, because you'll hear that, and you're like, oh, there's a guy there. Effects volume, you do want to set that to 100. Keep your effects and your master always at 100, or you degrade your audio, meaning you will miss things in the game. That is super important. Cinematic music volume, for the love of God, cut that to 0 alongside the gameplay, because you don't want to hear it in the game. Music popping in your head when you need to hear literally every single detail to get a win. But I don't understand it. Next up, make sure you obviously have your stuff set up to the correct output. If you have the option, which I know a lot of PlayStation users, pretty much every PlayStation 5 and every Xbox Series X user, has the option to use something like Dolby, right? Dolby Atmos is usually on the system, so you can actually get 7.1 surround sound and your audio is going to sound way better. So if you have the option to do that, go cut it on. Go get that Dolby and get that 7.1 surround for your game. That's going to let you hear a little bit more clear around. Keep advanced headphone mode off. Home theater or sucker punch. These are basically the same thing. I want to be very clear. Basically the same thing. Slowly start to hear things a little bit better with home theater, but you will have to turn your volume up just a little bit. So, I would recommend home theater, but if you want to hear footsteps louder, and you don't get overstimulated, or you have something like Astros or Turtle Beaches or something like that, Sucker Punch may actually be worth it. With what I'm about to give you for the audio tuning, for the love of God, do not use anything other than those two options. It will not work. I tested it for like 4 hours I tested it. Follow what I do right here, okay? So this is going to get a little annoying. I apologize, but audio mix, like I said, home theater, mono audio, if this is on, you've been losing games for no reason, keep that set to off. Then mute, completely up to you.
Oops, I took 2 pictures of it.
License music, completely up to you. Asymmetrical hearing, turn that to off. Some people like it, I do not. But what we're going to do is make sure reduced tinnitus sound is on, so that you're not hearing in your ear. And go to configure frequency intensity settings. You're going to copy exactly what I do here, verbatim, okay? Go in. This is super annoying. I'm going to unplug my controller so that this is easier, actually. Better with home theater, but you will have to turn your volume up just a little bit. So, I would recommend home theater, but if you want to hear footsteps louder, and you don't get overstimulated, or you have something like Astros or Turtle Beaches or something like that, Sucker Punch may actually be worth it. With what I'm about to give you for the audio tuning, for the love of God, do not use anything other than those two options. It will not work. I tested it so that is make sure reduced tinnitus sound is on, so that you're not hearing in your ear, and go to configure frequency intensity settings. You're going to copy exactly what I do here, verbatim, okay? Go in. This is super annoying. I'm going to unplug my controller so that this is easier, actually. And I'm going to run through these. We're going to do 50. We're going to do 0, negative 35, negative 35, 20, or negative 20, I mean. Negative 20, I know. 50, 10, and 10. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to copy this exact setup into the right side as well, so that it's symmetrical on each side. And that is going to help you hear footsteps so much better. I swear, especially if you have like studio grade headphones, like I recommend, like if you go into Call of Duty/Gear, way better. Makes a big difference. It will sound so much better. And if you can have that 7.1 surround sound, it's also going to be way better. But again, I tune my stuff for my headphones. I don't change anything to where I can't hear specific sounds. That's not how it works. I promise you, it is insane. I don't mess with any game files. I don't do anything like that. I just make it to where my ears aren't super all the time. Each side. And that is, and go to configure frequency intensity settings. You're going to copy this exact.
Get a screenshot of that. Because I gotta do that. But I'll reset them. Reset tab. Alright. Because that's what he does, which I'm not using headphones right now.
So if they have proximity chat on, they're within 50 meters, they have proximity chat turned on, set these back to 0 in just a second. Moving into the voice chat, I like to keep my voice chat volume set to 100, but it's entirely up to you. Whatever audio sounds you have going in your headphones, if you hate listening to your teammates at super high, go change it. I actually have all my stuff routed through a GoXLR, so all my audio is separated, so I can individually change them with a slider on my GoXLR. So I don't have to worry about that. I just keep it at 100 for the sake of the videos. Voice chat, obviously set to on. Proximity chat, set that to on. If you play a lot of solos, keep your mic open at all times. It is free echolocation, basically. That's the only way I can put it, because it's basically free awareness, because when you run around, your mic will only pop up whenever an enemy with proximity chat is nearby you. So if they have proximity chat on, they're within 50 meters, they have proximity chat turned on, they have like in-game voice comms on, you will see your mic pop up on the right side of your screen. I've talked about this a million times in my videos. It is hilariously broken. Keep proximity chat on all the time, and go catch your enemies. Body shield chat up to you, last words chat up to you, game chat voice, all lobby up to you. Like you see right here, it's a completely different voice chat output device. Just set that to whatever your thing is. Your microphone volume level should be like 20 in 90% of cases. Alright, so when I hop in here, you can see I'm not talking. Now I'm talking, right? It defaults to 100. Check, 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 check. It echoed back. Takes makes going back to school. We deliver an education that takes your child beyond. Check, check. It echoed back. It was so loud it echoed back. Stop it. Stop. You are blowing out your mic every time. Oh my god. Go in and set that to like 20. I have a super crisp, perfectly set up microphone. Obviously, mine is going to work a little bit different. Going into testing, check, 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 check. Sounds way better. I keep mine at 34 because that's the perfect volume for my mic going into the game. Check, 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 check. Sounds exactly like it does whenever I'm talking to you. Obviously, voice over IP is a little bit different, but maybe. Anyway, like